First, I try to make sense of what development is, and then I place India in the broader context of development. What is development? There are a lot of misconceptions about development. The problem is how you are able to meaningfully distinguish between development on one hand and growth on the other hand. The idea of development first started in 1940s. The idea of development at that point of time was if there is economic growth for some time, growth follows automatically. Therefore, development at that point of time defined in terms of growth rate of output or growth rate of income or growth rate of per capita output or income. This idea of development reflected in Mayer's definition of development, that is increases in the income of the country over a long period of time. This is the idea of development during 1940s and 50s. In the end of the 1960s, a puzzle originated in the literature on development. During 1950s and 60s, growth occurred in the developing world, but that had not associated with the changes in the standard of living of the people. From that period onwards, a kind of divergence occurred, growth on one hand and development on the other hand. Now it is widely accepted that growth or GDP is a narrow indicator of development. You must also understand that GDP may correlate with some of the non-economic indicators, but it does not take into account directly such as leisure, access to health, education, freedom and social justice. In the contemporary literatures of development, what is important is the idea of capability. That the capability is to function, what really matters. What matters for well-being is not just the commodities consumed. What you can do with the commodity, that is what important. What matters for the well-being is not just the characteristics of commodities consumed, but what you can do with the commodities. For illustrate that point, you take the case of a book. The book is little value to an illiterate person. So what is important is the functioning, which means that what a person does with the commodities of given characteristics that they come to possess or control. So what is human development? The expansion of capabilities of people to lead the kind of life that they like and have the reason to value. That is the idea of development according to Amartya Sen. In 1991, the World Development Report defined development as the challenge of the development is to improve the quality of life, especially the world's poor countries. A better quality of life generally requires higher income, but it does need much more. For that, you need better education, access to health, sanitation, social justice, the cultural and the richer life, and you need many things to achieve a sense of development. In nutshell, I can say that for to achieve development, that you need to increase the capability of the people. So, in the broader context of development, you need to expand all the points which I discussed above. The purpose of the development is to expand the people's capability, and we also need to create an environment which would able to make or expand people's capability both for the present generation and also for the future generation. So the point of development is to expand the capability of the people. There are 10 capabilities of the people should be supported by all the democracies. 1. Life, bodily integrity, bodily health, senses, emotions, practical reasons, affiliations, and other species concern for animals, play, laugh, to enjoy, the control over one's own environment. According to Amartya Sen, the development should be measured by how much freedom a country has. Without freedom, no one can choose the right choices for their life. The freedom is the bundle of the following: the political freedom, economic freedom, social opportunities, transparencies with related to government, protective security, etc. Freedom, he defines not the primary end of development, but also among its principal means.